Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Ask Geoff and Lauren. We're here to answer your questions about playing the double bass. And as always, leave your comment below, join the conversation, and give us a question for a future episode. We do our best. We can't answer every single question we ever get, but we do our very best to do so. And this is like a weekly show that comes out over on Discover Double Bass, so you can check out all of the back catalogue of questions by going there as well. Okay, Lauren, let's get into today's question from Rick, and it's addressed directly to you, actually. Lauren, I think this would be a great segment for you and Geoff to talk about the days where you just want to throw in the towel and how to push through it. And I wish you continued success in your career. So thanks for your question, Rick. And I think it's a great topic because
thank you.
I know that I've definitely had, a lot of experiences where I've been really close to throwing in the towel. And and what are your thoughts, Lauren?
We all have. Oh yeah, we all have had those experiences. I remember. Oh my gosh. Like, I swear at one point every single year, I'm like, I'm done with bass. This is done. But, on specific days, I mean, I understand the frustration, and there are days where I sit down and I just cannot focus, or, I've got like, a migraine, or I've got like a cold and I like keep sneezing every 2 minutes, or I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling good, like in terms of with the instrument. But I mean, I think that you have to make the decision yourself. There's no real magic answer that we can give you, because for me, I know that what I want to do is get to a certain point with my playing. And sometimes I get frustrated because it's like a beautiful day and I'm in the practice room and that makes me unfocused or whatever. But I just keep that in mind that, I want to get to this point. I know I can get there, but what I'm trying to do isn't necessarily, I hate to use the word normal, but it's something special that I want out of my life. And so I have to do things a little bit differently. And so when you're feeling discouraged that way, I mean, really, if you can just take a second, maybe do a little meditation, maybe go get like a little snack somewhere, and then come back. I mean, the benefits of just going for a short walk and then coming back, that's always really helpful. And then also, just addressing the idea of, being motivated or being inspired. If I practiced only when I was inspired or motivated, I would probably have practiced like 3 days in the past 5 years.
Yeah, there's always going to be a level of kind of discomfort with this stuff. It's exactly like working out, isn't it? Where you do it because you enjoy doing it. Essentially, you make a choice that you want to do that, and you enjoy the effects that it gives you and the positive
it's a routine.
impact.
It's a routine. I know every single day I wake up and I do some kind of workout, usually that I've planned like months ahead of time. I wake up, I work out, I eat breakfast, and then I start practicing. And that's just my routine. And there's a lot less room for me to just be like, oh, I'm just not feeling it today, or I just can't. I mean, it happens, but it's what I do.
If you have to make a choice every time about what you're doing, then all of a sudden that choice to go off and do something else and to, there's a lot of temptations, particularly the internet and stuff. And it's, you can get sucked down those rabbit holes, and before you know it, you spend 20 minutes on Facebook. And I think, like what Lauren's saying, Rick, is just so right that. And I think mixing things up as well. Like I find with practicing, sometimes people say, oh, do you practice sat down or stood up? And I find if I'm getting sort of frustrated, I'll either sit or stand, depending on where I am at the time. I'll move around, I'll do something different.
Yeah.
I'll approach the exercise in a different way. Sometimes I'll just put them, I'll just do something completely different. But as long as I can get those hours in on the bass where I'm engaged, what you don't want to do, of course, is to put time in playing bass and not be present and just be kind of sawing away. Playing for the sake of it, playing for the sake of racking up the hours, that isn't what's going to get you where you need to go. So if you need to stop, fine,
Yeah, the whole idea of the 10,000 hours thing, I mean, I really struggle with that because, I think that there are so many other variables. I think it's a cool idea, but, if you're just, like you said, just racking up the hours, then it's not worth it. And I mean, if you're frustrated because, or you feel like you want to throw in the towel because you're working on a specific technique that you just cannot get, you're working on an exercise, you're doing something like specific that you're just so frustrated with. A lot of times me just getting out of the room, going for a walk and kind of thinking about it, I find that I'm able to think, oh, well, I think that I could, play this on a different string and it would be a lot clearer. Or I think that, it would be easier if I don't move my arms so much, that kind of thing. I mean, you'd be surprised at the amount that mental practice and just walking away helps.
You know what's really hard? I mean, it's funny actually, this question, because we could have answered this in like 100 different ways. You know, if we answered it tomorrow, we could just go around the houses with it. I was just thinking then, as you were saying, that one of the problems that Rick has is that he doesn't see what we see, which is we've collectively taught hundreds of students, you know, individually. We know people all the time. I was out at a jam session yesterday with a friend of mine, Nick, who's a great bass player, and he came to me first. I was his first teacher, and this was, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. I'm not sure. It was quite a while ago anyway. And I bumped into him yesterday. I heard him play, and he sounded absolutely amazing. He sounds great. Yeah. He does some of the same gigs that I do professionally. He works. Yeah. He does really well. He's made such great progress in his playing. And whenever I speak to anyone about him, they'll say, he just sounds so good because he works consistently at it. And what Rick doesn't see is all of these people succeeding. Like, I know that anybody can learn to play the double bass. Anyone, if they just put the time in. It isn't to do with talent. It's just to do with working on the right stuff in the right order, in a sort of considered way. And, you know, it's the same with me. I know that I'm not going to be, you know, the next Edgar Meyer or whatever, but I know that I can keep moving my playing forward all the time. And I've been practicing recently, and my playing is better now, and my students practice, and I see them getting better all the time. And I think the hard thing is that when you're doing this journey on your own and you don't see that progress, it's really hard to evaluate your own progress.
You can't see it. Yeah, no. You can't see it. I mean, you could record yourself, you know, from like a year ago and listen to it, but even still, you know, it's really difficult for you to actually see the progress. I mean, I've got one student in particular, my student Juan up in New York. He's doing just the coolest stuff. And he started taking lessons with me, I guess, a year and a half ago, maybe. And the progress that he's made is insane. And I said that to him the other day. He was like, really? It was like, how do you not see? I mean, I get it that you can't always see it, but to me, it's just so glaringly obvious, you know, when you just are consistent. I mean, nobody is going to like work at the bass or anything really, music or otherwise, you know, and keep going and thinking about all the things that they need to work on and not improve. I mean, it's just not possible, you know, and a slow journey, like in slow improvement is a whole lot better than no improvement at all.
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, Rick, just keep motivated, keep practicing, and believe us, you know, you will be making progress. Every single time you pick up the bass, you're moving nearer to your goal. So let us know how you're getting on. Join us in the conversation in the comment section below. Keep practicing hard, everyone, and we'll see you next time.